Hello. Hey, y'all. I'm going to make this work. I hope that you guys can see me. I am broadcasting from StreamYard today, and I'm broadcasting live from over Facebook and YouTube today. So I'm hoping that you can see me. Let's see, watch live. Okay. Let's see. Can you not see me? Uh, Hold on. Let me figure it out. Can you guys at least hear me? Can you hear me? Show. Can you all hear me? Jeez. Okay, I gotta put this together, Paris. Okay. This is interesting. All right, you guys can see me. And my glasses. I'm trying to figure it out. I hope so. Can Hey guys, it's a little link on here that says if you want me to be able to see your comments, that you have to like click the link. If you can do that, I can see it from there. Otherwise, I'll just have to play with this until I figure it out. But hey guys, happy Thursday. Uh yeah, I think this is weird. It has me on here the other way around. That's okay though. That's okay. I'm actually working it on out. Um this my first time streaming from both YouTube and Facebook using StreamYard. And so it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So uh, I see some comments here. Hey, Mom, I see you. Hey, Auntie Cynthia. Okay, y'all say y'all can hear me, so that's good. All right, well, I'm not going to stress out about it. I'm going to look a little bit more. Here we go. So funny. Okay. Hi, guys. Welcome to, I guess I could officially say that, Conversations from Paris. Okay, so I haven't told you why I really chose that name, right? So let me tell you now. I chose that name because, of course, my name is Paris. Duh. Um, but I actually chose it because it was a play on words. And so my thought was is that, you know, in my mind at the time, it's nothing really that great to say that you're just having conversations with me. That everybody says you should have conversations with Paris. But my thought process was from Paris because, this started because we were all in isolation, we were all in quarantine, and we were definitely trying to not think about being at home and not think about not being able to go anywhere. And so, of course, Paris is a city in France. And so my thought process was is if I could have a conversation with you that possibly would transform you from being in that house or whatever that apartment or whatever you were at for a couple of minutes in a day and you almost feel like you are on vacation or you feel like you're able to not think about what's going on in your house. In my mind, that was a win-win. And it's also something for me too, because then when I was in the house all alone, it was like I needed something to distract me from thinking about being in the house all alone all the time. So that was that. This light is bright and it's a little bit of a glare. So again, I apologize, guys. This is a learning curve. Hopefully nobody cares that much. But anyway, so yes. So I that's why it's called Conversation from Paris. So today, we're gonna talk about I'm feeling myself. You know that song Beyonce got, y'all all know the song. I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling myself. I'm fe- and I can't sing, but it is it's funny because when do you normally sing that like song? You sing it when you're about to go out with your girls, or you're singing that when you got something, that you like a cute hairstyle or a new outfit or whatever it is. We sing that song or whatever, and then so either you're singing it as a result of feeling yourself, or it's you sing it because you're about to, or you try to get in the zone. Like sometimes when I'm doing things and I know I need to feel good about those things, I might pump myself up, and so sometimes you purposely put on music to get yourself in the zone or in the mood or whatever, right? So um anyway, I was listening to the song the other day, and on Tuesday when I was on, we were talking about being confident or versus being arrogant. And I think one of the things that I hope that we got from that is that confidence is the balance with a little bit of humility. Confidence is definitely the balance. And I don't think that we want to measure anybody else's confidence, right? I don't think it's good to tell people that um, they're too um, confident, because you don't know what it took for them to get there. You have no idea what their story is. So I wanted to encourage us to make sure we were not ever doing that. Like it's something that we want to get away from. I think the world does it. I think you don't realize what that person is fighting through just to wake up in the morning. You don't know what that person is, what they've been through. You don't essentially know their stories. So I feel like my the word or the message I really wanted to get out was, don't allow somebody to try to beat you down with the word arrogance and say that you're arrogant, or be careful not to be seen too into yourself, because um having confidence, I don't think it's a such thing as having too much confidence, right? I think people interchange confidence with like cockiness. And I tell people all the time, I can be confident, or you can be confident without being cocky. Confidence is not a negative. It doesn't have a negative connotation, and we assign a negative connotation to it way too often, which is why I think people feel like they can regulate your confidence, right? Um, and I think that's something we should all strive not to do. Like I don't want that to become a thing. You looking at people and telling them what they should do, what they shouldn't be doing. Um, it was this song my pastor used to always say. Well, okay, first of all, I don't know who sang this song, however. So I'm sure he didn't make it up, but he might have. And I think the song was spend 6 months minding your business and the other 6 months staying out of mine. And I thought the song was funny, but I thought it was kind of cool because um it was a play on the idea that if you are minding your business, you don't have time to worry about anybody else's, right? If I'm dealing with my stuff, I can't worry about if I believe you're too confident, right? So I just that was something I just wanted to bring up, because I'm like, I think it's a good thing to make sure how we're living our life is to not. I just want to be careful not to drift into that. I had to keep my light on. I was trying to get the glare out, but whatever. Maybe I'll take the glasses out for a second. I like my glasses. Whatever. I'm gonna take them off for a second. Because that glare is really bothering me when I'm trying to look at the screen. So I think that we just want to be very careful not to try to tell people how to live their life, how to regulate their how they show up in the world, because um, I think that although we think we have an issue with people thinking they're too much, I think we have more of the issue with people not thinking they're enough. Hint, hint, you are enough. Shameless plug. Again, it was never just a shirt. I need you guys to understand and really feel that way and believe that about yourself, which is why we're saying it and we're wearing it and we're talking about it, is because it's all necessary. But no, seriously, I think there are a small percentage of people who think too highly of themselves, or so you say. And I think that there's far more people who don't think enough of themselves. Now I want you to think about that. I want you to, because I could be wrong, but I don't believe I am. I'm talking about observation for facts. I don't believe that that is a thing. And so I really feel like instead of us going out of the way to try to regulate somebody's confidence, how about we just uplift them and encourage them to be the best version of you, or the best version of them to show up. So today, like I said, the topic, I'm feeling myself. I don't want us to always attach this negative thought to that. Um, sometimes we're some of the most expressive people, right? If you got a nice outfit on and you walk in the room, what's the first thing somebody say? I see you. I see you, girl. Do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna, if they're supportive, they're going to encourage you. What some people call blow your head up. They're gonna, like, get with you. Like, hey, I see you. I see what you're doing, and it's a compliment. They're giving compliments, and that's great. I love to see it. I do it. Like, okay, girl, I see you. Um, and that's kind of part of the idea of what we want to do for people. But I also have seen the other way around. I've seen it go negative, like, oh, I see you feeling yourself today. And it's like, yes, yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm feeling myself today. Why does that have to be negative? Why do we do that? And I think where I'm going here is that I want us again to be unapologetically present and showing up in our lives. And it's and to do that, the easiest way for me to say it was, I need you to be thinking that song. I'm feeling myself. Like, at all times. Like, it should never really be a moment where you don't, or not a moment, let me change it. I'll say a day. And unless it's just extreme, I mean, there are exceptions to every rule. But there should be some moment in time in your day where you sit back and say, I'm kind of dope. Or, you know what? I'm a hard worker. Or, you know what? I'm a good mother. Or I'm a good friend. Whatever it is, whatever you feel like you need to assign to yourself, later on, I'm going to debunk some of that stuff about what you do versus just being. Because it should just be enough that you just are. You're just dope. But sometimes people need something to assign and quantify a thing, right? And but I really feel like we need to be able to do that. And I think what the problem becomes is if we really don't have enough people that believe that they are enough as is, and they don't believe that they're what's the other word, they don't really have enough of their own confidence. Because if you had confidence, it's no way that I can be upset at your confidence. I'm going to say that again. If you have real confidence, there's no way I'm going to attack or make someone feel bad for them having confidence. And I know you're thinking, well, no, that's not necessarily true. I've known people that they only want to have the spotlight themselves. It's very different from somebody being in the limelight and forcing themselves into the limelight versus actually just being confident. Um, let me pull a definition up of confidence, right? Because I think, again, we interchange words and we wonder why people don't really receive it well, because we are not really using the actual words right. And if you don't know what the definition is, you're not able to really make sure or measure if you're thinking about it right. Okay. Hey, Christina, I see you. You said yes. Worry about being the best you. Exactly. That's all you really get a chance to do. You should be doing at least, right? As you said some people can't give others compliments because they respond with negativity. Now let's talk about that too. Um, I know in the past I've said I used to have a hard time with receiving a compliment, but I never really responded negatively. I did respond. It was always I could never just take the compliment. I had to always dish something back out. And so someone told me about myself, and I had to learn to ease off of that. And I had to realize what really was under that, right? I had to really get and figure out what caused me not to be able to receive a compliment. Um, that was a little harder because what I would do is if somebody said, "Oh, you look nice today," I'd be like, "Girl, this old hat. Oh, girl, this hair is girl. I need to get my hair done. This is nothing." And that was because I really didn't like to be examined. I didn't want people to pay much attention to me. It was easier for me just to kind of chill and be there, right? That's just how I felt. And so, but as far as being negative, I've seen that before too. I've told somebody before, "You look nice," and they responded with, "I look nice all the time. What you mean? That's what I do. That's how I do." And it's like, okay. I was just saying you look nice. I've heard men say that about some women too, is that they gave a compliment and the woman, "Why you saying that to me? What you looking at me for?" And it's like, um, it's almost like that was a trigger. So I think sometimes a lot of people have those, again, that trauma, that back story, whatever your story was, whatever the experience was, they were not able to receive it because they legitimately didn't hear it that way. I believe that there's a filter of people's experiences over their life. And a lot of times they hear and they see and they think all of these out of a filter. That's, just remember I said that, okay? So, yeah, you say you have to have inner confidence and not look for them for confidence building from others. That's exactly what it is, because confidence is not, it doesn't come from outside. Confidence is inside. It's an inside job, right? You absolutely can't get that from somebody else. So let me give you this definition of confidence, because what I think is we have, and I don't do a whole lot of definitions because I think, I still think, who's Webster? Like, how did he get to make up definitions? Like, I'm gonna figure it out one day, because I really want to know, like, why can't I just make a dictionary, right? Not that I want to make a dictionary, I'm just saying. But the actual definition of confidence is the feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something, firm trust. Um, Synonyms is trust, belief, faith, credits, conviction. Um, but I like the one here, the state of feeling certain about the truth or something, or the feeling of self assurance arising from one's appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities. I like that one. The feeling of self assurance. You hear that? We talked about the inner, like the self assurance, not from you, not from your man, not from anybody, not from your girl, not from anybody, not from your kids. But it's the self assurance arising from one's appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities. Now, I know that just triggers some of you guys because you're like, well, that sounds all cocky and stuff. That they have pride in themselves, and I think that, again, we use the words so wrong and we interchange them. It's nothing wrong with having confidence. It legitimately is something that you should have, and not enough people have it. You're worried about those few people that's in the spotlight that you think have too much confidence, and you're not worried enough about the thousands, the tens of thousands of people that feel unseen, feel unheard. There are people right now that this is going to shock the heck out of you. There are people right now that that feel like if they were to die today, nobody would care. There are people right now that feels, I've heard somebody tell me before, that nobody checked on them for months at a time. I just didn't know how that was possible, but they told me the circumstances, and I was just like, wow. Um, there are people that don't feel like they legitimately have one friend in the world. Come on. I'm trying to get y'all to understand. You are worried about regulating somebody else's confidence when I'm telling you there are not enough people that have any confidence. So stop trying to regulate theirs and realize that you need to be promoting people to have confidence. There are some people don't think they are good at anything in life. These are the type of things that burden me because I know this to be true. There are some people think that they mess up everything. There are some people that blame the life, how life hit them. They blame themselves. They don't think they're capable of love. They don't think they're worthy of love. They don't think that they're uh, um, worthy of attention or of friendship. I heard somebody tell me that before. They were like, I don't think I'm really worthy to have friends. And I looked at them because I thought they were joking. And I realized that that was real, but that was because of the lack of self-confidence. When you don't think anything about yourself, you don't think that you deserve, you don't think, how could somebody love me? How could somebody want to be around me? How could somebody trust me to do something? Because if you don't first love yourself or have the confidence in your own abilities, you don't expect anybody else to. And that's what I want to change because I didn't know how it could exist. I'm grateful to my parents that, they definitely affirmed us so that, know those things, but that's not everybody's story. And even with my parents affirming those things, I went through my own struggles and still have some. I had confidence issues as well. So just because you have a good family life or a decent family life does not absolve you from that, right? So this is what we're talking about, confidence. So I just gave the definition. Um, so let's go here to couple of reasons why we think confidence is great. Number one, I just can give you a few of them. When you're confident, you have less fear and anxiety. You're probably asking me why. When you're confident, you're more confident in yourself. Remember, we talked about the word confident is about in your own self assurance, in your own abilities, and your own what was the word? Oh. Qualities. Sorry, own abilities and own qualities. Um, the reason that that's important is because fear and anxiety comes from you not believing that you can do. You don't believe you can do it. And therefore, the fear is that you will drop the ball. The fear is that you will mess it up. The fear is that, you know, that next big thing that maybe is you're over your head because you're fearful that you can't actually handle it. So when you have more confidence, you're going to have less fear. It's just kind of a counteract. Okay. It is. And I'm not saying all fear. So let's be clear because I have been a very confident person in my past, but still had fears. And you're probably saying, well, Paris, if you were confident and still had fears, then how can you say that? Well, it depends on what fears they are and what the fear is. This is the weird part. I was confident in myself to do what I knew myself to do, but it was kind of limiting. Is that if that's the right word? It was limiting. My confidence in myself was I had a glass roof above a glass ceiling above my head. I put myself in a box about how much I could do. I was very confident in what I knew. I always tell people, I say, I know what I know. And because I know what I know, I can tell you what I know. But what I don't know, I couldn't tell you what I didn't know. And so what I did is that I was very comfortable in the box of the known and very uncomfortable in the box of the unknown, which meant that I oftentimes stayed in that comfort zone because I thrived, in my opinion, there. But if anybody asked me to step outside of it, that's when I would be exposed. That's when you would see the confidence just kind of shatter. It's so funny. Somebody told me one time, they said, Paris, your personality is all this. And then when I asked you to step up, it's like you deflated like a balloon. And I was like, well, I hate that they saw that, but obviously, they saw that when I'm in my element, I'm like, hey, I got this. Let's do it. Okay. When I'm not, I do shrink a bit. I did. Here we go. Did you hear me? I said do. I did shrink. I did. I would get down because I didn't know. And although you're saying, well, isn't that what you're supposed to do? I think you have to be very careful about shrinking it all. The better response is, oh, that's not my area of expertise, but I can help you out with somebody that does, and I don't have to get low because of that. Or even if I know something about it, I can tell people what I know and let them know I'm not the expert. You see how the different way that I dealt with that? And I didn't immediately go into fear as before. I would shrink and go down to the fear of, I don't want them to know I don't know it. Where now I'm very boisterous about telling you what I don't know. You ask me a certain question, oh, I don't know about that. Now, this is what I do know about it. I don't know. I'm not an expert yet, or I don't know it, but I can find you somebody that does. You see the different response there? Versus me just kind of shrinking and getting to the back because I don't want them to know that I don't know. So that's how we're talking about being more confident reduces the amount of anxiety and fear that you have. Even anxiety, sometimes when the anxiety rises when you're not confident, not confident, but when you're not, when you're not confident about even the situation and how you'll fit in. I've seen a lot of people anxious about their next part of their life, their future, because they don't know what's in front of them. And what I believe is that when you have more confidence in you, like I think I said it last week, bet on yourself. Like, bet on you. Like, be able to say, I don't know if I'm good at this or if I'm good at that, but if I had to bet on me being somebody that's going to follow through, if I had to bet on me being somebody that's going to give my all, if I had to bet on me being somebody that's going to be very fair, then I'm very confident that I'll get through the next level. Therefore, my fear and my anxiety, it subsides because I am confident in my own abilities and qualities. You see that there? So that's why I push confidence, because it's extremely important. Okay. So let me give you the next part. And I said number one was less fear and anxiety. Number two, increased sense of self-worth. The reality is most people are not confident because, again, you don't feel worthy. You don't think that you are capable of attracting love, attracting friendship, attracting good things. Now, listen, I'm not talking about a lot of that, the earth thing of like, oh, attraction of what do they call that? The law of attraction. I'm not talking about that. However, I do believe that there is a point of, when we talk about self-worth, it really is you not thinking you're worthy of having people to love you. You're not thinking you're worthy of good relationships. You're not thinking you're worthy of having good things. And it oftentimes comes from a place of you've had so many bad things happen to you. You had so many rough situations that have rocked the very core of who you are. And I think we have all had moments like that, right? It's nothing wrong with having a moment. We're all going to have a moment where you don't feel your best. We're all going to have moments where we don't feel that life has dealt us a fair hand. But I believe it's what you do with the moments that really matter, right? It's a point of, even if you did mess up, guess what? There's grace. I know I talk about the word grace a lot, but I do believe it. There's grace. There is, um, it absolves you from having to feel condemned. It absolves you from having to always feel like less than because of some mistakes from your past. Okay. Or let's say something traumatic happened to you that was outside of your ability to stop. Like it was nothing you did to deserve it, but sometimes that causes you to feel like, well, maybe it was something. Maybe if I didn't do this, I wouldn't have been in that situation. And it causes you to not have the worth, not to feel worthy. And so having more confidence, being able to realize that um, you, just as you are, like you don't have to get another degree, you don't have to lose another pound, you don't have to take another class, you don't have to get a bigger house. Your credit doesn't have to go up 1 point. You don't have to volunteer at 10 other places in order for you to have confidence. I think sometimes we get to this point where we feel like we've arrived or there's a such thing as arriving. And I reject it because guess what happens? I hear people say, "Oh, I'll do this when I get there," or "Oh, I'll pursue that once I do this." And it's all these prerequisites we put on our life, and what does that cause? It causes us to not live life because we legitimately feel like once we get here, we'll feel better. But I'm here to disrupt that. Change the way you feel, the way you think now, and you'll get there. Not wait till you get there to feel better and think better. You have to think. Your mind and your emotions, your mental and your emotional capacity, those things have to change before you can move to the next level. So you first have to change those things. You can't say so like that's the whole thing about you are enough. You're enough right now in this moment. You're worthy right now in this second to start to do whatever the next thing is or just to start to think differently. It's all here. You have to shift your perspective about how you think about you. Someone told me one time, they said if you can't stand to be by yourself, why would I want to hang with you? If you legitimately can't, you don't like to be alone with yourself, why would somebody else want to? It's the idea of you really do have to love yourself really before you can really attract real true love. Because guess what? If you don't even know how to love yourself, how would you really know how to love somebody else? And then how would you know how to, when you get real love, how would you know what it felt like? How would you measure it? Would your measurements be correct? Nah. And many of us, if we're honest enough, we could talk about that and be honest about it. When you're not loved well, or when you don't know love, or when you didn't receive love well, you don't really know how to give it. So, you know, that's why I promote confidence. That's why I want you to promote confidence. That's why I want you to encourage somebody to feel themselves more versus trying to minimize their shine. Okay, let's think of that. Here's another one. I like this. More energy and motivation to act. When you have more confidence, you do have the energy. I think that um, one of the biggest things I've realized is that when people are depressed or when they don't have self worth or when they are really have a very negative view of themselves, their energy to do anything in life is low, like super, super low. Like to the point of, have you ever had a full 8 hours of sleep and you legitimately woke up and was like, I am exhausted? I mean, exhausted. Or have you ever had a conversation with someone and afterwards you are just drained, like literally drained, and you know that you like, I haven't done anything all day and I'm just exhausted. Have you went to before you went to work? Have you went to work tired? You got enough sleep, you ate something, but you still went to work exhausted. I mean, and you say, "Well, I'm not tired, like want to fall asleep, but I have no energy." Listen, I have so many times, and I didn't understand what it was. I thought I blamed a lot of stuff on my iron deficiency at the time, but it was much more than that. I think that we have to really address that lack of energy. um, the energy is usually not there when there's no motivation, when there's nothing that you look forward to, when you feel drained, when you feel like what's the purpose, when you lack purpose, when you have no passion, when you really don't, like when we remember we talked about living life and then just existing, and how many people are just here and just trying to get by, and they're doing the adulting, I just want to make it to tomorrow. Like their life is so at a stretched capacity that they can't think about good things. They're literally just have their head above water. And I'm not talking about anybody. I'm not trying to make them feel bad. I guess what I'm saying is that, yes, we all have moments like that, but I believe there are more people that are actually, that's what their base is. Like if we had to say what the low was and what the high is, that's really their base. That's the middle ground for them. It's feeling like their head is right above water at all times. And that is that is think about that. Think about here, like, have you ever been in water treading and you're trying to keep up? It's very exhausting. It's very exhausting. You don't have any extra time. You have no extra energy. You have no extra fight. And so um, when you start to change your perspective about having confidence in yourself, you're able to get the motivation to live life fully. You're able to be encouraged to that you can and will show up in your life. And then you start to believe that you can. And then guess what? Then you get some energy. And I'm telling you, haven't you had a moment like when you're really looking forward to something? When you're really looking forward to something, you could be dead tired. And when like and the day before that thing happened, you can't even go to sleep. I'll give you an example. Whenever I travel, I can never sleep. I used to never be able to sleep the night before. I used to be so excited. I used to be like, yes, yes, yes. I'm gonna stay up all night, pack. I'm gonna chill out, put music on, do this, do that, do that. And I would just be so excited because it's like, I don't care. I could have worked 4 doubles. I could be dead tired, but I'm excited. So now I got this fake energy. I used to call it, the false adrenaline, whatever you want to call it. But I had extra energy because I was doing something I really wanted to do. And so that's what we're talking about is the once you have more confidence in your abilities and being able to do it, then you get the motivation that then in turns turn into energy. And then when you have that energy, you can actually execute the things that you want to do. Okay. So that's the goal. Okay, I'm gonna give you one more and be done with this. And then also you have more success. Um, and when I say success, of course, success varies from person to first person, right? Success is measurable by whatever, you might think it's successful to have a family and kids. You might think it's successful um, to have a career that makes a lot of money. You might think it's successful to have plenty of friends. You might think it's successful to travel all the time. Whatever your um, definition for success is, I believe when you have more confidence, you can not only believe that you can do it, but once you start believing you can do it, you actually start finishing things. What? I know. You're like, what does that have to do with anything? I'm telling you guys, like, when you don't have confidence, you don't believe in your own ability. So therefore, you either don't start at all or you start things and you don't finish them. How many of you guys can say that was you? I used to do it all the time. Oh my God, I've started like so many different things and I wasn't a finisher. And it's so funny because I used to be one. And now, it's almost like I can remember when my confidence decreased. And it's so interesting because I can look back on my life and I can definitely see the line in the sand from when my confidence was super, super high to when it got super, super low. And I still wasn't somebody like, and it's so funny because if you looked at me, you would never think my confidence was low, but I knew what it was because it looks different for everybody. And so for me, my confidence was low because I wanted to just blend in. I wanted to be mediocre. I wanted to kind of like fade to the background. I didn't want anybody to remember when I told you last week, the last like is that I think it's last week, and I said I just wanted to blend in. I didn't want to stick out. I wanted to just be normal like everybody else. I wanted to live the regular American dream and just chill out and be good. But I didn't realize that what it was me not being confident in me being great and me succeeding. And it was really a fear of success. And it was more of a failure of failure. Like I had felt what failure in my mind looked like, and I didn't want to do that anymore. So therefore, I didn't try anymore. I went very safe. Like I used to shoot for the stars, and so then I got to a point where I said, "Well, you know what? That's them stars. I'm too far away. What's all that? How about this? I just want to kind of like be, on top of a building. I'm good with that. That's really cool. Like it's still not on the ground. It's a building, right? So the stars, that's just nobody got time for that. You raise your expectations, you're gonna be let down. What's the point of that? No, I'm gonna go on a building. That's cool. That's still above everybody else in this little realm, and I'm fine with that. And I know you probably think, oh, what's wrong with that? There's so much wrong with that. Because what I did there was I was let down by something that happened in my life, and I let myself down. And in turn, I could almost came back from that. But what happened was it was the reaction to me letting myself down and the things that happened as a result, or at least my perspective of what the things happened that was a result, kept me from believing that I could really succeed. I kept feeling like every time I got up, I got beat back down. Every time I got up, I got beat back down. That's so like for a moment, like I didn't want that like that feeling of being beat back down. So I just kind of stayed. I didn't stay all the way down to the ground, but I did get low. Sorry. Um, but I did. I said, no, I'm not gonna shoot for the stars anymore. I'm gonna just go for that building. And that building is attainable. Y'all heard that? I said that building's attainable. So it's what I'm gonna do. And then I stayed on. The problem was not even that the build that the setting the goal of the building was bad. The problem was is once I set that goal, I stayed there. Oh, I stayed there for so long. I stayed there for so long, and I pat myself on the back. You know why? Because the people around me, they were comfortable. I was comfortable. Hey, I'm doing just enough. I'm good. Yeah, I'm doing a little bit more than them, but I'm cool. Even though it's not nowhere where I should have been, but I'm good. I'm good here. I'm good right here. This is chill. And while that sounds like that's okay, if you're not living up to your potential because you don't have confidence in yourself, then you will be where I was after a few years, which is feeling completely lost, feeling completely unfulfilled, feeling completely drained. I had no energy. I could not barely like do anything extra because I just felt unfulfilled. And it all came back. So sometimes you want to blame situations and blame things, and those are the roots of things. But you really have to actually like get to the root of what happened. So this is some homework. Y'all know I like homework, right? So here's the homework. The homework is think back to a time where you had confidence. And whenever that was, whether it was when you were 5 years old and you walked across the kindergarten stage and you feel like you were the prettiest girl or the most handsome man, whether it was a moment where you won a spelling bee, whether it was a moment was your birthdays and you felt like you were everybody was celebrating you, whether it's the moment where you graduated and walked across the stage, whatever that moment is for you, go back to that. And then if you know that your confidence is not where it should be, if you know that you don't have as much confidence as you should, pinpoint pinpoint where that dramatic change happened. And I think it will surprise you because then you can go ahead and start to unpack that thing, unpack why your confidence was dropped off right there. I think that it'll help you out. I think these are the type of conversations we have to have so we can realize that we have to be more confident in ourselves. And then when we are, we can do everything else we need to do. But if this isn't addressed, then we can't go there. So, the next time you are feeling yourself, don't shy away from saying that. I've seen people like, enjoying themselves and they notice somebody sees them doing like they get in the zone. They're like, I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling myself. And the minute somebody sees them, they're like, and they shrink that down real quick. And it's like, come on, girl, it's cool, do what you do. And it's like they literally got scared because guess what? They were seen and they were not used to being seen. Y'all, we're going to change all that. We're going to change all of that. I'm not saying you have to be anybody but you. But I do believe that I want you to operate in a moment where you believe you can do anything you need to do. You can believe that you can um, try new things. You're worthy of love. You're worthy of friendship. You're worthy of new experiences. I want everybody to have that, and it starts with confidence. So yes, do that homework, trying to figure out where you might have lost yours at. And hey, when y'all get done, go ahead, put a little Beyonce on, okay? Put a little Beyonce on. Y'all know, put that favorite dress on. We all in quarantine. Your heat probably up. Go ahead and put that dress on, or sir, put on, your robe, or your favorite suit. And okay, I don't know if the guys want to put on. Feeling myself. I mean, do whatever you want to in your house, fam. Do what you doing, whatever. Or put on some Jeezy, or not cheesy. Okay, I just heard that verses. No, put on some Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? It's one of them songs to pump you up. I'm gonna think of it next time. But for the ladies, y'all go ahead and put on that song and just kind of vibe out until you convince yourself that, yeah, I absolutely have every right to feel myself. Yeah, I'm super dope. Yeah, man, I'm just I'm me, and I'm unapologetically me. That's what I want. That's what I want. I want everywhere I look for you to be unapologetically you. I want you to show up. I want you to be seen. I don't want you to be scared to be seen. And I want you to pursue everything you need to in life. But it starts right with you, believing that you are enough. So I love you all. I told you I was going to be fast. I'm not sure if it was completely fast or not. Hey, Karen, how are you? Um, and so that's what I wanted to make sure. So again, this is my first time on StreamYard. I don't know if this is showing on my page and on Conversations from Paris, but it should also be on YouTube. So y'all subscribe to my YouTube. It's Conversations from Paris. That's the page on YouTube. Subscribe, like. I got some of my other. So especially for people that don't have Facebook, because I know people say, "Oh, I'm not on Facebook." That's why I did it, so it could be on Facebook. So it could be on YouTube as well, so they don't have to have a Facebook account. So it's on there. And then yeah, the more I do this stuff, the better it's gonna look. But I'm just glad y'all rocking with me anyway. I'm glad that y'all tune in and let me talk. I'm glad that y'all you're making sure that you are showing up for yourself. So I want you all to have an amazing evening. Y'all already know how it is. It's Thursday, which means I won't see you Tuesday. And I actually have a great series we're going to start on Tuesday, and I'm actually going to put up a flyer for that. I have a guest. It's going to be bomb. That's why I wanted to get this set up so I can get the kinks out before my guest came. But y'all in for a treat. Don't forget, my shirts are still up there. Get you guys a "You Are Enough" shirt. Can you see it? Yeah, "You Are Enough." Get you one. Um, or buy one for your sister or your cousin or your daughter. Listen, this is what I really want our young girls to know, that they're enough, because it starts there. They need to know more than anybody else, because they don't really feel it. I know the adults don't feel it. We definitely know the kids don't. So give the gift of confidence. Anybody that's local to the Chicagoland area, I can definitely deliver shirts for you if you buy them. So just let me know. And the website parispjohnson.com. You can go and put an order in. I appreciate your support. I love you all. Again, don't forget, you are enough. I'm gonna say it every single day till you believe it. I promise I will, every single time, until you start believing it. All right, guys, have an amazing weekend. Do something nice for yourself. And I'll see you Tuesday. Don't forget to play the song. I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling myself. I promise you, you're going to be in a better mood already. You're going to do something amazing just because of that. All right, guys. See you later. This is when I have to figure out how to turn it off.